Today we're going to talk about frequency distributions, relative frequency distributions, and histograms. This example uses data from an example used in class in Economics 3402, Intro to Business Statistics. We're going to develop a frequency distribution, first of all, from parts cost. These are tune-ups parts cost for 50 vehicles. So first we need to figure out what the maximum and minimum values of our tune-up parts cost to use later on to develop our frequency distributions. An easy way to do that is simply to type in equals min, and we're trying to calculate the minimum for the values that are from A2 to A51. From A2 to A51. And what we can see is that our minimum tune-up cost was $52. And now we want to find out what our maximum tune-up cost was. This equals MAX, same range, A2, colon, A51, close parentheses. And this tells us the maximum value is $109. Okay, so our minimum is 52, our maximum is 109. Now we need to develop the number of classifications we're going to use. And remember, we had a rule of thumb that said the number of classifications are based on the formula 2 to the k greater than n. And here we have n equal 52. So which k gives us a value that's just greater than 50? Remember, 2 to the 5th power is 32. 2 to the 6th power is 64. So 6, a k equal to 6, gives us exactly 64, and that is just larger than 52, so we're going to use 6 as the number of bins in our frequency distribution. So here we went ahead and put in the upper bound of each one of the classifications, and this is going to be used later on in another function in Excel. So our upper bound on each of our classifications is 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, and 109. And what this says is that we're going to count up the number of observations that are 59 down to 50, 69 down to 60, 79 down to 70, 89 down to 80, 99 down to 90, and 109 down to 100. Actually, this counts from 59 down to 0, but we don't have anything lower than 52, so it will actually count up 59 down to 50 as well. So we want to first calculate the frequency. So we have to highlight all the cells that are next to the bins that we're going to use. And remember, the bins are the classifications. And we say equals frequency. And then open parentheses, and it gives us two things that we need to select: the data array and our bins array. The data array is the data from which we're constructing our distribution. So we select from A2 to A51. Now remember, we got to select two different things here. This tells us what our data array is, but now what's our bins array? We put in a comma, and our bins array are these bins from 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, and 109. So we select this as our bins array. We close our parentheses, and you see we don't have data there yet. We don't have information yet. This is the complicated part. In order to get this to provide frequencies for each one of these bins, we have to hit 3 keys simultaneously. We have to hit Control, Shift, and Enter. Enter. There we go. Must have hit something a little bit incorrectly there. And what this says is that 2 of our observations are from 59 down to 50, 13 are from 69 down to 60, and so on and so forth. Now, just to make sure that we've got the right number of observations here, we can simply sum up these. So say sum, open parentheses, and then we want to select each one of these counts, and it should sum up to 50, and it does. Now remember, our relative frequencies tells us what percentage of the total each one of our bins represents. And we can calculate this by simply saying equals the actual frequency divided by the total frequency. And the total frequency here is 50. Now, if we want to repeat this same function over and over again and maintain the 50 as our numerator, we can simply put a $ in front of the E and the 8, and it will remain locked on that cell. And if we go ahead and put the parentheses around E2 divided by E8 and multiply by 100, we can turn this into a percentage. So roughly 4% of our observations are from $50 to $59. And now that we've constructed this equation, we can simply copy the equation down. And you can see that it's 4% from 50 to 59. It's 32% from 70 to 79. And it's 10% from 100 to 109. Now, obviously, they should all sum up to 100%, because every one of these together should sum up to the total, correct? That's right. And that's what we get, 100%. So we've developed the frequency distribution. In addition to that, we've constructed the relative frequency distribution. And now, if we want to put a graphical presentation together using our chart wizard, we can simply select our frequency. Remember, don't select the 50 because this is the total. Go to our chart wizard, click on the chart wizard, say next, and this shows us what our frequency distribution is going to look like. And let's go ahead and finish that. No need to put in labels. But one of the things that we need to do in order to turn this into a histogram is we need to format the data series. So we just simply double-click, go to our Options button, and we want to set the gap width to 0, because the implication is when we see gaps between our columns that there are potentially areas in between that we would collected data, but we had values of 0 in each one of those, and we don't. So this represents our histogram, and we built this using our frequency distribution.